What's up, guys? It's MB Boxing. I just finished up watching Jose Ramirez versus Rances Barthelemy, and this was a 12-rounder in the welterweight division at a catchweight, and this fight was Saturday, April 27th, from the Save Mart Arena in Fresno, California, and this fight was broadcasted on DAZN, and in this fight, and what was a much better fight than what was anticipated, Jose Ramirez defeats Rances Barthelemy by unanimous decision, but he did have to go through a lot of adversity to get the job done. So in the end, my scorecard was 117-111 in favor of Jose Ramirez. The three judges, though, had this one far too wide, in my opinion, at 119-109 twice and 118-110 once. I really thought that Barthelemy in this one won like 3 to 4 rounds, and there was a few very clear rounds that he won in this fight, so I don't know how one judge had him only winning a singular round. But just to break this fight down and how I saw it, the first 2 rounds were pretty easy rounds to score for Ramirez. He just had much better pressure, took those 2 rounds easily. Barthelemy wasn't throwing much back. And one thing to say, Barthelemy has a very awkward style. Switches between southpaw and orthodox, doesn't throw too much, tries to pop that left hand out. I mean, just a very odd style out of him. But in round number 3, that style did work as Ramirez kept trying to plug and press forward. However, he was popped with a massive left hand that really wobbled him, and I think it should have been counted as a knockdown. Barthelemy wobbled him, went in for the kill, but what really hurt Barthelemy is that when Ramirez went down, he continued to hit him. The referee didn't take any points away, but I think what the ref should have done was probably counted as a knockdown, but then also take 1 point away from Barthelemy. However, the round was very exciting after that, as it seemed like Barthelemy was somewhat hurt to the body, it looked like. But then he came back towards the end of that round again and solidified the round easily as he hurt and wobbled Ramirez again with another left hand. And then round number 4 was also a very good round. This was a swing round. I gave it to Ramirez, but it definitely was a round that could have went in favor of Barthelemy. And in that 4th round, I mean, Ramirez was buckled again with a huge left hand. He was getting hurt with those lefts early. But then I just edged the round to Ramirez because after that sequence in the beginning where he was hurt, he was able to come back and really outwork Barthelemy. Then round number 5, just a much better round there. Bounce back round for Ramirez. Wasn't hurt. Just was going forward to the body. Just had the better work. Round number 6, however, would be the last round I'd give to Barthelemy aside from later on. But the middle to later rounds, I mean, they were all majority in favor of Ramirez after the 6th round, and I'll get into that. But in that 6th round, Ramirez was pressing, but then Barthelemy would just fire off some massive left hands, and he actually was able to shake up Ramirez a bit in that 6th round, so that's why I gave it to Barthelemy. But then from round 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11, this is a long sequence of rounds. That's 5 rounds in total, but those were rounds that Barthelemy was just not doing enough in at all. Ramirez was pressing forward. The crowd was in his favor, cheering for him. Barthelemy would throw a few punches here and there. I mean, there was one round where he only landed like 3 power punches. I mean, just not a lot was going on for him in those rounds, and especially in round 11 where he was hurt badly towards the end, just getting battered. Tried to keep his high guard up with his gloves, obviously, like touching his temples, like just blocking his full face. I mean, the shots weren't really getting through the gloves, but they were kind of getting around them, hitting him on the side of the head, battering him a bit, going to the body, and he was hurt very badly, it seemed like, and referee Jack Reese almost stopped the fight then and there, and in the corner. I mean, he was just sitting there getting hammered with big shots. But then they sent him out for the 12th and final round, and it was a pretty good round for Barthelemy, actually. I gave it to him, and I thought that was a pretty clear round for him, considering Ramirez was able to land some flurries here and there, like that were landing on the arms, the body, but Barthelemy was able to fire off like at least like 6, 7 massive left hands, especially to close the fight as well on Ramirez. So it was a pretty decent round there for Barthelemy, but in the end that adds up to a 117-111 or even 116-112 scorecard for Ramirez. And this goes in the question, what is next for him? And to be honest, I really don't know, but maybe we could possibly see a clash between him and Arnold Barboza. Barboza just fought on DAZN last weekend. on the Ryan Garcia card. Got a controversial decision there. However, it could. I mean, this fight here could really set up a big fight between Barbosa and Ramirez, and that definitely could be next for Ramirez himself. However, I mean, if you take a look at the rankings, he's ranked number 4 in the WBO, 11 by the IBF, not ranked by the WBA. However, he is ranked number 9 by the WBC. So he's ranked in 3 out of the 4 sanctioning bodies, a former world champion at this weight as well. So, I mean, for him, obviously, an Arnold Barbosa clash and like a WBO final eliminator, WBO interim title could be big. And he did obviously sign with Golden Boy now, so this could also open up some other opportunities with other guys who were highly ranked that are fighting on like the Matchroom stable. Like you could see Jack Catterall. I mean, obviously he has that big rematch coming up with Josh Taylor, but I mean, there's just a lot of options here. I mean, there's just a lot of DAZN Matchroom type fighters fighting at super lightweight. Like obviously Pro Greg Catterall, Hitchens, Liam Paro. I mean, we just saw Arnold Barbosa fight last week on DAZN as well. I mean, all these guys fighting in these big super lightweight fights here on DAZN, like Devin Haney, the WBC champ, Super Matias. I mean, all these guys, and even Ismael Barroso, who just got a win, who got a big win against O'Hara Davies. So I mean, just a lot of opportunities here for Ramirez. But this goes into question as well. What is next for Barthelemy? I mean, he's obviously older. He's, I believe, like 38 years old. He's been there, done that, former world champion. But for him, I mean, I really don't know what could be next. Maybe we could see him again as like a B-side in a pretty high-level fight like this, or maybe just getting a few wins on like PBC cards before coming back as yet another B-side like I mentioned earlier. So overall, Jose Carlos Ramirez goes through some adversity with those big left hands from Barthelemy, but then ultimately comes back and wins this fight via unanimous decision. And yeah, that's really it. I'm MB Boxing. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys later.